Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Lee, and welcome to another movie review on my YouTube channel where I'm a review movies. Don't worry, I'm working on an intro. So let's get real and break this down. I'm also working on that too. So this is my review of No Escape. And if you guys don't know what this movie is about, here we go. Since this is live and I can do this, because I'm not going to remember all this. In their new overseas home, an American family soon finds themselves caught in the middle of a coup, and they frantically look for a safe escape in an environment where foreigners are being immediately executed. I mean, that's basically it. This is like one long chase scene that someone took from like a third act of a movie and stretched it into an hour and a half full-length feature, and it's very, very repetitive. It's from the director of John Eric Dowdle, and he actually directed Quarantine, Devil, As Above, So Below, and I actually liked all three of them, and I didn't really like the ending to Quarantine, but I actually enjoy his movies. So what do I think of this one? Let's go ahead and break it down. So let's get with the directing and the writing. Now, his movies aren't like the best written movies. They're entertaining, and they got some really cool elements of surprises, and they got some twists in there. And he knows how to create suspense really well. So I will give him props on that. He knows how to create a really intense environment, whether it's in an elevator with Devil, or whether it's down in a cave where you can't escape with little oxygen and As Above, So Below, or in Quarantine where you're basically stuck in a house with a disease flowing around. And this one, we have a family basically on the run to try to cross the border to another country so they aren't killed in the country that they're running in. So I mean, it sounds like it'd be a very intense movie. And listen, I'm all for movies taking the liberty of having like an action sequence basically the entire movie. Look at Mad Max Fury Road, prime example. It's basically them running away and then going back, which, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, they're on the run. And it's intense, it's visceral, and it's got some great character moments in that movie. But the difference is between that and this, with the writing and especially with the directing, I didn't feel any connection to the family, and I felt like I was just watching people run away from people that were killing other people. So, I mean, it took me a while to kind of buy Owen Wilson and Lake Bell as a couple and as a family, but as the movie progressed, I really got into it in terms of them being a family, and I was totally okay with that. But as far as their character development or the story or the plot, it's very thin, it's very one note. There's really nothing explored. We know why they're being hunted and stuff, but it's like the most basic like reasoning, and it's like, okay, I guess. And as far as the directing goes, like I said, he creates really an intense environment in all of his films in a very claustrophobic kind of like intimate setting. This is a little bit more, I mean, it's intimate, but it's, you know, they're traveling across the country and stuff, trying to escape. So it's on a grander scale, but it's still really intimate. And I think the movie got a little too repetitive, and it just, when you're running away from something and you're trying to cross the border and that's all you're doing is just running away, you can only do so much plot. You can only do so many events and situations to carry the story along. And this story's fine. It's just very, very flat, very, very thin, very basic. And with the title like No Escape, there's no spoilers what I'm about to say, but I kind of wish it would live up to that title and have maybe someone kick the bucket, or have a couple people die, or all of them, or something. Just, you know, it's a very paint by the numbers movie. And I think that's kind of one of my main complaints about the directing and the writing, is that there was no risk taking. It's just, most of the dialogue was, go hide over there. They're coming after us. We have to leave now. Oh, wow, man. Yeah, there's some guys out there like killing people. We gotta go, man. That was a terrible Owen Wilson impression, so take it for what it's worth. No, it was a very thin script, very thin plot. I wish they would take more risk with it and kind of, you know, gone down a couple paths that I thought they were going to go down. I've been like, oh wow, that just got dark super fast. So I mean, they didn't. They played it safe. Kind of disappointed in that regard, but it's fine. It's an average thriller at most. Let's get into the acting. Now, when you have a comedic actor like Owen Wilson and a prominent comedic actor in Lake Bell, it's kind of hard for comedic actors to transition into drama. I think, for an example, one that can do it really well and kind of go back and forth is Jim Carrey. You know, back in the day, Dumb and Dumber, one of my favorite all-time comedies. He's really funny in that, but then he can turn around and do The Truman Show or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Man on the Moon. And it's really hard to transition when people know you as that guy or that woman from that genre. Did Owen Wilson and Lake Bell do it justice? They were okay. I'm kind of in the middle with a lot of stuff throughout this movie. Like I said, it took me a while to get used to the fact that they were a couple with a family. But once I got past that, I believe that they were a family. But I still couldn't see Owen Wilson and Lake Bell out of themselves and into their roles. I just saw them as them. And I kind of was thinking that you could have gotten anyone for this movie. I mean, look at his previous movies. As Above, So Below. No one is recognizable in that one. Devil. Maybe one or two actors or actresses were noticeable in that movie. And then Quarantine, Jennifer Carpenter was the main character. She was the only noticeable one. So he could have just gone down the route of getting unknown actors and stuff, and it probably would have made the story a little bit more intense. But like I said, everything's so one note and so flat. Nothing is explored or no risk or taken to where I didn't really care about the characters either. So maybe they had to do something with the acting, but the acting was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't, good either. It was kind of up in the air. Everyone else did fine. I'm kind of so in this movie. I think you guys know where I'm going to go with my grade. Cinematography. Now, I will give it this. It's shot very gritty and very dirty. Like, we literally are in, like, the worst part of this, like, little town except for the hotel and stuff. But every action sequence and every time they're running from someone, guns are firing, or they're in the jungle, or they're going down the streets and it's super foggy and stuff. I felt this really cool, dirty, gritty kind of tone to this movie. And I actually kind of dug the way it was shot and the way the atmosphere was on top of this film. Now, granted, there were a couple of times where it was too much shaky cam for my taste. Guys, calm that down. You don't need to be like an epileptic monkey and just throwing it around everywhere. Listen, that's one of the higher points is the cinematography. And I do like the way it's shot. There's some shaky cam with the action sequences, a little too much. Let's calm that down. As far as the editing goes, I'm sorry to say that I didn't find anything redeemable in the editing. I thought this was a very boring movie. And like I said, when you have nothing but a long action sequence and you're doing basically each scene the same, where they're running, then they're hiding, then they're running again, then they're hiding, and then they're running, and then they're hiding. It gets a little old after a while. So the movie felt longer than it actually should have been. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes, but it felt long. I felt the drag. I felt the boredom. And here's the other thing that really bugged me. As a filmmaker, as a film viewer, whatever, there was too much slow-mo in this movie. It was unnecessary. Like, there would be something happening, and it's like, oh, wow, that's pretty intense. And then it would just slow down randomly, and it's like, oh, really, did we have to do that? And the thing is, I think the director was trying to get some type of emotion or suspense out of slowing it down, but it turned into more of a comical situation. Like, this is not spoiling anything, but in the trailer, he throws his kids off the roof and stuff to another roof. It's pretty intense and very implausible at the same time, because it's like, oh, hell no, this is not going to work out. But they would slow that down, and it looked really just unintentionally funny, and it just I didn't know what the director was going for when it came to the slow motion, but I just didn't really dig the slow motion. It didn't add anything to it, and it kind of just slowed the movie down literally even more. So I didn't care for it. I don't know if it was an aesthetic choice or what, but no slow-mo for me, man. It ruined the pace of the movie. And like I said, the movie's just boring overall. There's nothing that really happens. So I'm sorry to say, but the editing is just not there. And as far as the special effects go, there's like a crash scene where it was fine for the most part, but it was still kind of noticeable. And you can tell they had a low budget, so I'm not going to really knock on it too much. So overall, guys, when it boils down to it, it's an average thriller with a very thin story, very basic dialogue, decent acting, pretty good cinematography, and the editing is very slow and boring, and there's just no pace or rhythm to it. It's just a long, drawn-out Lassie situation where, take it out and shoot it out the pasture, and then you walk your dog out, and then like you're walking, you haven't shot yet, and you're just walking. It's like, come on, man, you gotta do something. Let's change up the pace a little bit. So overall, is this a movie that you need to see in theaters? No. You want to catch it on TV? Sure. I give it a C. I'm gonna go straight down the middle with it. C, average. It's not the worst movie I've seen. Fantastic Four. And it's not the best movie I've seen all summer, but I guess for what it is, it's enjoyable. And for me personally, I actually like the other director's films, As Above, So Below, Devil, and Quarantine. I actually like all three of his other movies better than this one. So, have you heard of No Escape, or have you even seen it? Comment in the place below my face and let me know. And if you think, another question for you, do you think that comedic actors can transition to other genres successfully, or do you think they should just kind of stick with their given talents and just stick with the genre that they're most known at? So that's my question to you guys. If you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can click that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RealChaseley. But all the links will be in the description below. And the beginning, intro music, and the outro music is done by my friend's band, Fervent Roze. Check them out if you want to check out more of their songs with their link in the description below as well. I'm Chase Lee, and this is another movie review, and I get all real and I break it down like a crazy mofo. I seriously got to work on an outro, guys. All right, I'll see you guys later for another movie review on this crazy YouTube channel. See you guys later. Let's play the outro music. Like I said, guys, it wasn't a bad movie, but, it wasn't the best thing I've seen either. See you guys later.